Most runners use their watch to track pace and mileage, but they ignore the physiological markers that actually predict an injury before it happens. If you have a device that tracks your heart rate and recovery, you have a powerful diagnostic tool on your wrist. Today I'm going to show you how to use 4 specific metrics to adjust your training in real time so you can stay consistent and off the clinic. Metric 1. Resting heart rate. Your resting heart rate is your baseline. When it's elevated by 5 to 8 beats per minute above your normal average, your nervous system is under stress. This could be from a hard workout the day before, poor sleep, or early stage illness. If your resting heart rate is high, your body isn't ready for a high intensity session. Metric 2. Heart rate variability. HRV measures the timing between beats. A higher HRV indicates a recovered nervous system. A lower HRV suggests you are in a state of fight or flight. If your watch shows a low or strained HRV score, there is a clinical signal to reduce your intensity or take a rest day. Metric 3. Acute and chronic workload ratio. This is the important metric for injury prevention. So acute load is your total training volume over the last 7 days. A chronic load is your average weekly volume over the last 28 days. If your acute load is more than 30% higher than your chronic load, a ratio of 1.3, your risk of injury increases significantly. This is where too much too soon becomes a measurable fact. Metric 4. Cadence. Low cadence often leads to overstriding, which increases the impact on your knees and hips. Aiming for a slight increase around 5% can reduce the load on the joint without requiring more cardiovascular effort. Metric 5 is sleep, and I will release a video specifically talk about sleep cycle in the future. And to make this data useful, you need a system. I recommend a simple 3-step check. First, the morning check. Look at the HRV and the resting heart rate. If both are outside your normal range, downgrade your plan from hard run to an easy recovery run. Second, check the volume. Before you add extra miles to your week, check your workload ratio. If you're already at a 1.3, do not add more load. 3. So after your run, note how you felt. If data says you're recovered, but your legs feel heavy or you have localized pain, the body signals takes priority. And there's also limitation to all these watches. Wearables are excellent at tracking your heart and lungs, but they cannot see your musculoskeletal system. Your watch will not tell you if your calf is tight or if you have a brewing heel pain or Achilles sensitivity. These mechanical issues often happen independently of your readiness score. If you feel localized pain or stiffness that doesn't warm up, that is a mechanical red flag. The data is a guide, but it doesn't replace your physical self-awareness. So the goal of using this data is to avoid the boom and bust cycle that leads to injury. And when we look back at the training logs of injured runners, the data almost always shows the warning signs 48 to 72 hours before the injury occurred. The resting heart rate was climbing, the HRV was dropping, and the workload was spiking. If you start responding to these signals early, you don't have to stop running, you just have to run smarter. Use the metrics to validate what you're feeling, stay within the load limits, and keep your training consistent.